Hey class, welcome to week 4. So now that you've all have made it this far in UNV 104, hopefully essay writing process makes a lot more sense. Very grateful for those that have been following the tutorials to a T and following that request. I know it's helped out tremendously. There's always a difference between when I see submissions in weeks 1, 2, and 3 where I can tell who has and who hasn't watched the videos because of how the assignment looks. And so grateful that most of you are following that tutorial. So kudos to the class for the most part. If you're not following these tutorials, you need to. Okay, you got to make sure it's a step-by-step process, and it's no different than this week. Okay, I'm going to touch up on a couple things. There's going to be a video on that shows how to write an example paragraph. Now, this paragraph that you're going to see is a little bit of an older one that I wrote, but I still think it's relevant. Okay, so it's not the content of me talking in weeks 1, 2, and 3 about servant leadership. And this one is going to be actually, I think, about video games and violence. But nonetheless, despite the topic, despite what you're seeing as far as content, the way to write a paragraph with what you have in your week 3 outline is what I want you to follow. Okay, this is an example paragraph for a subtopic paragraph. This is how you should write each subtopic paragraph. All right, so you'll have your introduction, and then you'll have your 3 subtopic paragraphs, and then the 5th paragraph, the last one, will be conclusion. All right. I'll just make sure you're using the attached GCU style template. I attached it here, okay? And it's got to be 5 paragraphs. Intro, conclusion, okay? And in between that will be your 3 subtopic paragraphs you've been working on last week, all right? So it's very simple. No need to worry about seeing a tutorial on how to write the whole thing. Okay, this is a rough draft, so do your best. The best effort you put in following the videos allows me to grade your essay more honestly and more effectively because it's a solid effort, and you are getting the comments needed to make the corrections based off that perfect effort. Okay. What I want to see in this rough draft is a few things. I want to see the introduction where your last sentence is the thesis from week 3 DQ1, and also the same one you should have from week 3 DQ1 that's also in your outline for the thesis. If your thesis is incorrect, which means you got to go back to your outline comments that I made and also go back to week 3 DQ1 to make sure your thesis is correct. If it's not, then I would get it correct before you write the end of that introduction with that thesis. So your introduction should be about 120 to 150 words. All right. The last sentence will be your thesis, period. Okay. Then you got your 3 subtopic paragraphs, and then you write your conclusion. That's all I want to see. I want to see your 2-sided facts in each subtopic. So the 2-sided paraphrased facts you have in your week 3 outline, in each of those will correspond with each paragraph. So subtopic 1, those 2-sided paraphrased information you got from the article for that first subtopic will be that first subtopic paragraph, the one right after your intro, and so on and so forth. Okay. There's going to be a misunderstanding to the 20% rule that I want everybody to adhere to. I get this all the time. There's a huge misunderstanding with 20% rule. All right. That doesn't mean that if you're at 18% that you're going to be safe, because I have given zeros for things that are under 20%. Okay. Sometimes Lopes Wright does not catch all the quotes, but I do. And if it does come more than 20%, it's a 0 with the redo of a 15% point deduction redo, sometimes 20% redo deduction. The 20% rule is more not just for quoting, it's citing facts. So if you're citing every other sentence, that's just like writing a book report. That's regurgitating information. That violates the 20% rule because more than 20% of the essay is paraphrased facts, which means all you're doing is just spewing out information that is written in articles. So the 20% rule is not quoting per se. I've had students receive, they're like, well, you know what, I was at 17% on my Lobswright score, and then substantial point deductions. That's because half or more than half of one of the paragraphs was a quote. Okay, so there's no credit for that paragraph because it's more quote than analysis. Which leads me to making sure everyone realizes no quoting. That's why in week 3 in the outline it talks about paraphrasing, not quoting. So do not quote. Do not go that. Do not flirt with quoting at all. Okay. So this is just a few things I want to just kind of go over, but watch the video below on the example paragraph, ask questions. It's just an example to a subtopic paragraph. I didn't write a whole essay, but I think by now, I think you kind of get the idea when you see that subtopic paragraph. If you have a way of writing essays and you're an effective essay writer, you know, and it follows through the rules of using what you have in your week 3 outline that's been approved, then do it. I know there's always more than one way to write an essay, and some of you have more experience than others. That's fine. Okay, but make sure you look at your week 3 outline grade. I'll get those graded, you know, soon. Keep an eye on the grade book between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, because I want to make sure that if there is any problems with your outline, we can go over it and adjust it. Okay, so this is a very important week, and if you have any questions, just let me know.